Thank you very much, Dr. Neri. Let us now introduce the person who, according to Dr. Neri, is very authoritative when it comes to this topic, our valuable guest speaker. First, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce our speaker for today. He holds a bachelor's degree in business administration from Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila as a scholar. He has taken his MBA from Ateneo de Manila University. He has obtained his Doctor of Philosophy in Business Management as a Dean's Lister. He received the Insular Life Foundation Award as a valedictorian, the Jerry Rojas Leadership Award, and the CMLI Model Student Award. He took his postdoctoral course in Management Development Program from Wharton School of Business, University of Pennsylvania, and Minnesota Management Academy, University of Minnesota. He is a graduate of the Executive Strategy Program from Georgetown University, Washington, D.C. He was granted a Lee Kuan Yew Fellowship at the National University of Singapore. He has completed international special trainings in business education as a scholar of the ASEAN Ministry of Education of Malaysia. He was accredited diplomat in business education by the Philippine Academy of Professionals in Business Education. Likewise, he was selected to represent the Philippines in several Asian productivity organizations, Total Quality Management Programs, and the Malcolm Baldrige Framework Study Mission in USA. He was tasked by the Asian Productivity Organization as the national expert for the Philippines on measuring productivity in higher education. He was the recipient of the 2014 Juran Medal Award conferred by the Philippine Society for Quality for his contributions in upgrading the quality of management system in various organizations. The Agora Award for his outstanding achievement in marketing education given by the Philippine Marketing Association, a recipient of 2016 Asia's Education Excellence Award given by CMI Asia in Singapore. He was granted a lifetime accredited marketing educator confirmed by the Commission on Higher Education. 2018 Tourism Hospitality Education International Center of Excellence Fellow Award by the ICE in Australia. Likewise, he was recognized as Outstanding Alumnus of the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila during the PLM Ruby Anniversary and Outstanding Alumnus awarded by PLM Alumni Association. We're not yet done. He is also one of the active and recognized leaders of the educational, professional, and civic organizations, being the founding president of the Philippine Council of Deans and Educators in Business, charter officer of the Council of Management Educators in the Philippines. He was elected deputy president of the ASEAN Tourism for Research Association and vice president for Academe of the Government, Academe Industry Network Incorporated. Currently, he is the chairman of the Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities Commission on Accreditation or PACOCOA and former president of the Federation of Accrediting Agencies in the Philippines or FAAB. He has been appointed as chairman of CHED Technical Committee for Business Administration, Entrepreneurship, and Office Administration and chairman of DepEd Senior High School Curriculum Task Force for Accountancy, Business and Management Academic Track. Dr. Iñigo counts with over 40 years of administrative and academic experience, most notably at Centro Escolar University, where he served as the ISO Quality Management Representative, Dean of the School of Accountancy, Business and Management, and the Vice President for Technology and Development. He was the Vice President for Academic Affairs and ISO Integrated Management Representative of Lyceum of the Philippines University Manila and Cavite campuses for 12 years and 8 months. At present, he is the Chief Executive Officer of the University of the Visayas, Cebu City. Without further ado, join me in welcoming on our virtual stage Dr. Conrado E. Iñigo Jr. A warm round of applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, John Aldrin Antonio. No? Mukhang very young ka, no? Mga siguro ge- you are part of the Generation Z, no? So,
Yes.
mga less than 20, no? So, older tayo by 20 years siguro, no? Dr. Art. Anyway,
Opo.
to the president of Chiang Kai-shek College, attorney Danny Chan, other officials of the school, we can call the officials according to Malcolm Baldridge, senior leaders, no? The students of Chiang Kai-shek, and teachers, no? The
Yes.
faculty members, no? Not
Opo.
only from Chiang Kai-shek, but also I think there are also teachers and even officials, no? From other universities who are present now, no?
Yes.
And I think there are also other industry partners, no?
Opo.
Who are attending, participating in this, you call it continuing professional education.
Opo.
So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon. Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Okay. First, I would like to congratulate Chiang Kai-shek College for the invitation, particularly Dr. Imineri
Salamat din po.
for nagging me.
Pasensya na.
Hindi naman.
Kulit-kulit.
Hindi naman because I'm really honored to be invited because my mission is really to spread the quality news to all human beings, especially iba as educators. That's our contribution and our legacy. If we can share our insights to our next leaders and next generation. I think yung mga teachers natin na we've been teaching for several decades, na Dr. Sabila, di ba? That is our role. We've been teaching for how many decades? Na? So natutuwa kami because if we teach, if we share our insights, it can contribute dun sa additional competencies of the next generation. And that's also my objective now. No? It is considered a distinct privilege, no, to share my experiences and my insights to this group. No? And unfortunately, this is just a foundation. Sabi nga ni John Aldrin, we are here to get only the foundational ideas. No? So when you say foundational ideas, this is just parang part or bird's eye view, no, of the topic, 7 habits of highly effective people, no, written by Dr. Stephen Covey. No? Kaya maybe after this short period, this very short seminar, we can further expound the topic in another forum. No? So can I share my slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pwede na, no? Can I
Opo,
share?
opo.
Can you see?
Opo.
Okay, I'm going to maximize. Is it visible na ba? Kita na?
Opo.
Okay. This is one of if not the the best book that I have read. No? I have read this. I started reading this book in the decade 80s. I could recall mga 1979 or 1980. No? So matagal na yan. You know? But after reading this book, immediately according to the author, Stephen Covey, you should not only read, you should not only memorize the terms that you can see inside the book, no? But you have to practice. So ang ginawa ko, after reading, actually hanggang ngayon binabasa ko pa yan, after several decades nga. No? So after that, I've been reading and practicing the theories, no? That you can see inside this book. And gumawa din ako ng acronym so that you can recall the significant terms, no? In the book of Dr. Stephen Covey. You can see the acronym under my name, PBF, 7 letters, PBF WUSS,
WUSS.
equivalent to 7 letters. Diba? Part of a tool to memorize the term, yung we call it mnemonic code. No? Dapat may code ka para you can recall. No? So to our students, if you want to have a very effective memory, always use the code. No? Kita nyo, itong 7 letters na ito, one book na yan. No? Sa PBF WUSS. So if I use this acronym, I can discuss lengthily the 7 habits. Okay, so yung one letter stands for one habit. Kaya if there are 7 letters, there are 7 habits. Now, observe, you also see, I modified the title, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Managers and Employees, just to customize my topic to my to the participants of this seminar. And I know majority, 99 to 100% of our participants are either officials, managers, or employees. No? So, minodify ko lang. No? But you can also see some of his books. Makita niyo yung cover dito, yung 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And he has a son, si Shine Covey. And the son has also written a separate book for the teenager. Kaya ang tawag doon 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. So I am recommending these 2 books for you to consider it as your Bible. No? And I'm not saying that you should not read the Bible, because in this book, Dr. Covey is really encouraging all of you to accept and embrace the words of the Lord Almighty. Kasama yan sa 7 habit, yung spiritual. No? Okay, so yun, I modified it, and then just to give you a background, no? Very effective, because do you know that I was able to strengthen my faith. I was able to hurdle any problem. In fact, I'm not using the word problem. No? That is lesson. That is the first lesson. In the 7 habits, walang problema. No? So instead, as proactive individual, you need to substitute. You need to use a proactive language. Kaya I call a problem as a situation or a concern. No? So, kasi when you use the word problem, miski na hindi pa nakikita yung problema, mabigat na yung negative na yung word na problem. No? So I am recommending you, starting today, avoid using the word problem, because that is a reactive language or a negative language. So be proactive. Gamitin niyo yung may concern, may situation tayo. I think you have also heard na for every problem, there is always a solution. Kasi pag sinabi mong sitwasyon, talagang may ka ng solution. No? Okay, and then another point before I proceed. Truly, I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So, nung nag-aaral tayo, naglalakad tayo para makapag-aral lang. No? And then eating, yung mga merienda lang namin noon, if I can recall, Dr. Neri, baka natandaan mo,
banana Q.
mga banana Q lang noon, mga merienda namin. Wala pang barbecue.
Wala.
Ganun ka social, no?
Mahal.
Banana Q, turon, no?
Turon.
Tapos may sago, no?
Correct. Bulaman.
Gulaman. At hindi sa isang fine dining, dun sa mga tabi-tabi.
Correct.
So, dadaan kami ng Quiapo, iinom lang ng
Correct.
sago, gulaman. No? So tapos, okay na kami doon. No? Kaya, indeed, I was not born with the silver spoon in my mouth. No? But because of the wisdom that I have learned continuously, and one of the books that I read at naka-contribute no, in my development, personal and professional development, this is the 7 habits of highly effective people. Now, for those who do not have the money, I think you can download this. Hanggang ngayon, binabasa ko pa rin yan. So, pwedeng i-download yan, but if you have an extra budget, you can buy this in any bookstore. Iba na yata ang cover ng color ng cover ngayon. Pero same content. Hindi, binabago lang nila yung kulay ng cover para sabihin it's a new revision or new edition. Okay? So now, I would like to use the wisdom of Mahatma Gandhi, and I quote, "We must become the change we want
to
to
be.
see." So today, effective today, visualize that you are now changing your mindset or your habit. By the way, isa pa palang guide, no? Itong 7 habits, again, I said I started reading the book 1980 or 80s. No? But very fortunate in 1997 when I attended a program in University of Pennsylvania. One of our lecturers in that university in the United States, no? The author himself, Dr. Stephen Covey. No? And that was one of the things that I took. No? Do you know, we took that course in 7 days, 7 araw, no? Continuous yun. But today, I'm going to share it in 1 hour or 1.5 or even 2 hours. So I'm going to capsulize the 7 habits in 1 hour or more than an hour. Okay? So ang what I can advise, kasi we've been attending several seminars, and according to Dr. Neri, regular na yung seminar nyo ng continuing professional education.
Opo.
Ang observation ko, after attending a seminar, just for the heck of complying, kasi requirement ng teacher. Aatin lang kayo, no? Without really using the insight, or without really practicing or actualizing what you will learn or what you have learned from any seminar. So now, challenge ngayon, sana do not just memorize, na? Internalize, na? Try to visualize, imagine na ginagamit yun at pinapractice nyo. Kasi sayang yung oras if you are not going to imagine that you're already doing it. No? So that's my advice. Do not just take note. Do not just memorize. And do not just listen. So that's first thing that you have to do, that you have to change. So today, you have to change your perception. And requirement of the 7 habits, ito yun, to change ourselves effectively, you have to change your perception. So yung perception nyo ngayon, since all of us are human beings, no? Di ba? As a human being, we are influenced, we are attracted by our environment. Sigurado yan. Biska man ako eh. Pag ang environment nyo, na yung mga kagrupo nyo ay puro ang mindset ay negative, miska na positive ka, you can be attracted by that group. Kaya mula nung pagkabata natin, may mga grupo kayo na nagsasabing wala ka ng pag-asa, bobo ka. No? Yun yung perception nyo kasi yun ang planted in our mind nung bata eh. Kaya kayo naman, naniwala kayo dun sa group na bobo, wala kang pag-asa. So yun ang naging kayo ngayon. So if you want to be very effective, galing lang sa loob. You have to change your perception. Galing lang sa mind ninyo yan eh. So, all things are possible. And if you want to be very effective, unahin yung baguhin yung nasa loob nyo sa mind. So that's the first change that you need to do. Change it from inside, not from outside. Because kung ano yung nanggagaling sa loob, kung ano yung nararamdaman sa loob, yun ang ginagawa nyo sa labas. So what is inside is your outside. Na? Okay? So ito yung concept na yun, yung inside out. So this is the paradigm, inside out. True personal change starts from within. Kaya nga itong 7 habits, each of the 7 habits builds on the preceding one. Used together, the effects are amplified and create a continual upward spiral of growth. So nagsisimula yan sa sarili, sa loob. Hindi pwedeng manggaling sa labas. Kasi kung if you want to have a very successful profession sa labas, dapat from inside, from within, successful na yung profession mo. Nararamdaman mo na successful ka na. Kaya lahat ng nangyayari sa buhay natin ay nanggagaling lang sa inyong sarili. Kung ano yung pakiramdam natin. So if you want to be successful, dapat dadamahin nyo na successful na kayo sa loob. I think that is a very simple explanation So inside out. Kaya remember yung karma, 'di ba? Yung karma, yung law of karma. Kung ano ang lumalabas sa iyo, kung positive ang lumabas sa iyo, ang nasa loob mo, ang lalabas ay positive din. Kung negative yung nasa loob, following the law of karma, negative din yung outside. Ngayon, another law. Actually, this is a universal law. Yung law of gravity. Parang ganun din. Kung binato mo ay pencil sa taas, because of gravity, ang babaksak, pencil din. So, etong inside out is scientifically proven. So, if you don't believe in the law of gravity, don't internalize inside out. So, this is science. No? Kaya, you have to have positive inside so that you can have positive outside. Okay. So, that's it. That's one concept. And then, simply, I used a tree to symbolize different habits. So, makikita niyo yung very simple illustration of a tree. No? Di ba, doon sa tree, merong roots, may trunk, may leaves, at may mga fruits yan. No? Kaya the most important part of any tree, yung nasa baba, yung roots. Before you harvest, fruits or bago magkaroon ng mga dahon yan, dapat ang didiligan mo yung roots. No? At to compare it with the 7 habits, yung roots ng 7 habits, yung habits, so please take note, yung habits 1, 2, and 3. Yan ang roots of the 7 habits. So, before you go to the next habits, you should first improve or develop yung first 3 habits.
Excuse me
Maybe,
po, Dr. Iñigo. Excuse me po.
yes.
Sir, nag-freeze po ata yung slides po.
Okay, very good reminder. Very good. Hanggang saan nag-freeze?
Nasa first pa rin po kami.
Kaya pala. Sorry. Naku, sana pala na. Anyway. Okay, I'll again refresh. Jan, kindly remind me later kung
Sure po.
Dali lang.
Nasa title pala, sir.
Ganun ba?
Sa title pa lang, nakita namin.
About this one?
Opo.
Yan pa lang.
Okay na?
Yan pa lang, sir.
Yan pa lang. Opo.
Yan pa lang, sir. Yan.
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 Yes, sir. It's
Yan.
moving na po.
Hindi
Gabi.
nyo nakita kanina?
Hindi
Hindi
po.
po.
Sige, i-recall ko ng konti. No? So, recall o review ng konti. So, sabi ko kanina, yung wisdom coming from one of
At Gandhi.
si Mahatma Gandhi. No? So, sabi ko kanina, we must be, and I quote, no? yung quotation niya says that we must become the change we want to see. So, sabi ko, you want to change your career, you want to change your behavior, you want to change your lifestyle or your life, nanggagaling yan sa sarili nyo. Kaya sabi ko rin kanina, before you can change yourself effectively, you should first change yung perception nyo. Kasi sabi ko rin kanina, nung pagkabata natin, yung mga barkada natin na ang kanilang mga ugali ay negative, madali tayong ma-influence, na? Kaya yung mga bata na lumaki na hindi naging successful because of the environment, na? Yung kanilang perception, hindi sila magaling, na? So, all things are possible. That's why I'm giving you this guide na lahat tayo are given the mind, are given the talent to be successful. Ang gagamitin lang natin, ang gagamitin natin, we have to change first yung ating pananaw, that is perception. Kung ano tayo, are we, do we consider yourself as successful or not successful? So I think that you were able to get that thing, no? That insight. And then ito yung can you still see the next slide? John?
Yes po.
Okay. So from inside out, just to reiterate, yung sabi ko meron tinatawag na universal law. Yung universal law says that kung merong nangyari sa inside, na, yun ang mangyayari sa outside. Bakit universal law? Because it can be applied to any law. Kaya I have given an example, yung law of science, yung gravity. Now when you throw any object up, let us say ball pen or pencil, because of law of gravity, ang baksak niyan, pencil din. Kasi binato mo ay pencil. Parang kayo din. If you believe in the law of gravity, pumunta ka sa third floor, ang babaksak kayo din. Ngayon, if you don't believe in the law of gravity, huwag kayong tumalon. Ha? Kayo din ang babaksak. Na. So you see, yan yung law of science which is applicable in the concept inside out. So like attracts like, positive attracts positive. Okay, so kaya if you start using a positive language inside, expect na yung outside mo, meron kang positive aura. Kaya kung successful ka inside, expect yung outside mo, you will be successful. Kasi ang perception mo sa sarili mo, successful ka. So you have to change the perception. And if you want to be successful and highly effective, nanggagaling yan sa atin. Do not rely. Na? Hindi yan nanggagaling sa akin din. I'm just giving you insights. Na? Pero yung change, yung mga changes will come from you. Okay, I think that is clear. Na? Yung development ng tao is not coming from any person. Nanggagaling yan sa sarili. If you want to be successful. Okay. Yung mga teachers, mga guide lang kami tayo, no? Kaya when we give lesson like this one, are not because of the teacher, but because of you. Kaya ka naging successful. Kasi pinapractice mo yung itinuro ng teacher. Kaya nasa sa inyo yung outcome, no, ng success ng sarili nyo, no? It should not be coming from anyone, but the success totally will come from you. Can you still see this tree, Jan?
Yes po.
Okay, so very simple lang yung illustration. Merong roots, merong trunk, may leaves, or may fruits at may sunlight. Kaya, or merong, yan. So, very important part of any tree, yung roots. Okay, if you're going to compare it with the 7 habits, ito yung very important habits, yung 1, 2, and 3. Please try to remember, ang very important habits, yung 1, 2, and 3. Bakit very important yan? Kasi yung first 3 habits are related sa sarili, personal development. Ang ibig sabihin, before you go to the next habit, in this case, bago magkaroon ng trunk, bago magkaroon ng mga ng leaves, dapat very strong muna yung roots, yung foundation. Kaya, in short, dapat you should first develop yung sarili mo before you practice yung habits 4, 5, 6. Yung habits 4, 5, 6, ito yung trunk, saka ito na yung mga leaves, no? At ito yung mga prutas, no? Yung harvest. Ito yung related sa relationship. Relationship with any human being. Kaya yung 4, 5, and 6, please recall this later. Yung 4, 5, 6 na habits, these are related to your personal relationship. Okay? So you cannot have very effective relationship if you do not improve and develop your habits 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah, na. So that's the hierarchy, na. You should first know how to improve yourselves before you can relate effectively. And that would mean dapat you have to practice habits 4, 5, and 6. Ngayon, yung habit number 7, nasa taas. The metaphor is sharpen the saw. Ibig sabihin, sharpening the saw is another term for that is self-renewal or daily renewal. Kaya nga may saw. Ngayon, to renew your habits, yung effective habits nyo, kailangan merong in this tree dapat may sunlight o dapat dinidiligan yan, no? Kaya yung ating sunlight at yung pandilig, ito yung tinatawag nating 4 quotient systems, which I will explain later. Yung 4 quotient systems na yan, ginagawa yan every day. Yun ang pinaka-sunlight natin at yun ang pinaka-dilig. That's why you have to sharpen the saw. And that is what you call habit number 7. Okay? So, madali lang, na? Yung habits 1, 2, 3, ito yung sa sarili. Yung habits 4, 5, 6, ito yung inyong relasyon sa ibang tao. At yung habit number 7, continuously, ito yung ginagawa nyo every day. So that's why after this talk, imagine that you're already sharpening your saw. You have to do what I will advise in habit number 7. Or in short, yung habit number 7, ito na yung pinaka-summary ng habits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Na pinaka-synthesis ng the 6 habits which you have to do every day, reflected in habit number 7. Okay, what I've been saying is when you attend seminars, hindi lang itong 7 habits. Na? When you attend seminar or any lesson, please use this process. Learn, practice, share, and review. So currently or right now, there is what you call learning. So ngayon, nag-take down kayo ng notes, nagme-memorize, that's learning. Pero in OBE, di ba yung outcomes-based, kailangan ipakita mo, i-demonstrate. That's why you have to practice what you have learned. Kasi useless yung attendance nyo this afternoon if you're not going to practice. Kaya nga, in our case, ang Pilipino, matatalino yan. No? Maraming matatalino sa atin, pero kulang sa practice. In fact, maraming mga products ng mga best universities in the Philippines. Pero pag na-elect na leader, hindi mo makikita na product sila ng mga best universities. Kasi hindi nila pinapractice. Yung natutunan nila when they studied, when they completed their college. No? So, yun ang kulang. No? Maraming matalino, pero kulang sa practice. Kaya nangyayari, ang dami nating leaders na magaganda ang educational background, maraming lawyers, maraming doctors, maraming magagaling. No? Pero, realistically, they do not walk their talk. So, I am giving this advice to our beloved students. Wag lang kayong mag-aral. No? Yung things that you learn and you will learn, dapat naman you have to apply it. Apply it to your neighbor, apply it to your community, apply it to the country and the world. No? And wag lang, do not just depend entirely sa inyong IQ. No, wag lang sa talino, no? Kailangan gawin, no? Kasi maraming matatalino na hindi pina-practice yung wisdom, no? Na meron nga mga educators na tinuturo what JMRC, pero paglabas ng classroom, nagmumura. So that's what I'm saying, no? So kung ano yung tinuturo nyo, we have to practice. At kung ano yung natutunan natin, we have to practice. Okay? So this is a challenge for all of us. Even ako din, I'm trying to review my process na kailangan when I say it, I have to do it. Okay? So practice. Na? Then after that, share. Ito na yung ginagawa ko nga. Kaya nga, it is my fulfillment, my honor to share. Because when I share something, it's a blessing. At yung blessing, babalik sa akin. Remember the law of karma. Kung may ginawa kang mabuti, expect na babalik sa'yo. So when you share something, when they contribute dun sa development ng young generation, bumabalik yung blessing sa kanila. Kung hindi sila affected, bili nila. Karma, positive karma. So share it continuously. Diba? Education is a continuing process. You have to review. So that's why I'm saying that yung book ni Dr. Kobe, and until now, I've been reviewing the content of his book. At marami siyang mga bagong libro which I've been reading. So marami siyang libro na hindi lang yung seven. That book is just a foundational book. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, please check this. Learn, practice, share, review. So that what we are saying and what we are sharing now, what I'm sharing now, would not be considered futile exercise. Na? So para hindi maging useless. Later on, I will entertain question or queries. Na? So simulan ko yung framework. Na? I started that the 7 habits with the 3. So I'll explain that further using the concept maturity continuum. When you say maturity continuum, di ba? When you say maturity continuum, when you see the tree, no? The tree, bago ka magkaroon ng bunga, leaves, and dun ko muna sa habits 1, 2, 3. So yun yung explanation ng maturity continuum. Na yung 7 habits are interrelated, interdependent, and sequential. So using the habits, individuals work on the private victory. So yung habits 1, 2, 3 are called private victory. Bakit private? Kasi all about self, pansarili. So self-mastery with habits 1, 2, 3. Bago tayo mag-move dun sa public. Kasi kung may private, may public. Yung public would entail relationship nga. Yung building relationship. That's called public victory. Na magiging effective yung relationship mo sa ibang tao, ka ng maraming kaibigan. No? So, yan yung public victory. But before you can connect, before you can have so many networks, connections, at maraming kaibigan, kailangan mo nang mag-improve yung sarili mo. There should first be self-mastery with habits 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's the maturity continuum. No? Meron niyang sequence na bago ka punta ng 4, 5, 6. Now, yung pinakahuli, 7th habit, ito yung tinatawag na habit of renewal. So remember yung sabi ko kanina, ito yung pinaka-sunlight natin, pinaka-tubig. To sustain, ito na yung things that you do every day. Physical quotient, yung emotional quotient, social quotient, and spiritual quotient. So I'll learn further later. Yan yung nasabi nating 7th habit. Okay, so that's the scope of the 7 habits. Private victory, public victory, renewal, which we are doing every day. Okay, you see, just to review, ito na yung complete list ng 7 habits. So just take note, and then another guide or another technique. When you attend a seminar, ang ginagawa ko, ini-imagine ko na kagad when immediately kung paano ko i-apply. Para after the I can recall kung ano yung sinabi ng speaker. So again, I am recommending, I am proposing na when you see the slide, imagine, visualize, actualize na ginagawa nyo na. Para even you don't take notes, after this short seminar, you can immediately practice. Okay? So, ano nyo i-apply sa sarili. No? So that's another when you attend any seminar. Ganun din, miski na yung mga very serious na seminar, even in your class, no? If you want to recall the lesson from your teacher, imagine nyo na, aside from using yung mga code, no? I-imagine niyo na kung paano nyo gagamitin yan in the actual case. So that's how you learn. No? You have to actualize and imagine what you are learning and what you will learn. Okay. So just to emphasize the private victory. Ang sabi ko kanina yung Jan.
Yes po.
Mr. Antonio.
Yes po.
Still clear? Okay. Dr. Neri, pag there is something wrong with my audio, paki-text ako. Baka hindi ko na baka tuloy-tuloy nagsasalita yung pala walang audio. Still okay, no?
Opo naman, sir.
Jan,
Yes po.
still okay?
Yes po.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay,
Just to
clear.
emphasize private and public victory. Yung private victory, di ba sabi ko, mastery, self-mastery. And that is very significant if you want to increase yung tinatawag nating self-confidence. So very important yung habits 1, 2, 3 na under private victory na makakatulong sa sarili yan. Ano? Yung habits 4, 5, and 6, all about improving yung building relationship. So pag na-practice nyo yung habits 4, 5, and 6, yung tinatawag nating public victory, yung relationship nyo will become deeper, more solid, and more creative. No? So yun yung intention ng public victory. Okay. Now we go to habit 1. So just to ask anyone, ano yung first letter natin sa code? Anyone can answer? Ano yung first letter? Ano yung code natin kanina?
TB. TBF.
TBF, di ba? WUSS. So therefore, ang first letter is letter P. P. So imagine this question. Very simple lang yung question natin. Hindi to, actually, this is elementary question. Think of a situation situation or think of situation in your personal life na nangyari or even yesterday, not only last week,
Sir,
when you
excuse
have
me.
responded in a reactive way.
Sir,
So
Sir Chappy kayo.
imagine, actually,
Sir Chappy
alam
kayo.
nyo, everyday nagiging reactive tayo. Kasi yung, hello? Chappy? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Dr. Iñigo. We can hear you clearly po.
Okay, clear. So, again, this is a simple question you need to answer. Uh, think of a situation nga in your life na nangyari last week or yesterday na you have responded in a reactive way. I've been saying that every day we always react. We always react. Therefore, when we always react, ang reaction natin normally negative. Kasi every day, not unless nakakulong kayo, no? Pero every day we always meet and experience a human being. Diba? Every day we always meet a human being. Miski na naka-quarantine tayo, every day, let's say inside the house, nandiyan yung children, nandiyan yung tatay, nandiyan yung asawa. No? So that's our situation every day. No? So now, this is our application for habit number 1. Letter P, proactive. So just scan the slide. So be proactive would mean as human beings, we are responsible for our own lives. Our behavior is a function of our decisions, not our condition. So ibig sabihin, kung ang condition labas ay may typhoon or mainit, na yung ating behavior, kaya naiinitan tayo o kaya mainit ang ulo natin because that is our decision. Nanggagaling sa atin, hindi raw. No? So you cannot blame the sun kung mainit ang ulo mo. So, kaya mainit ang ulo, hindi because of the sun. Dahil decision natin yun. Okay? So yun ang normal. No? Yun ang normal tendency when you encounter a negative condition. So reactive people are often, ibig sabihin, regular to, affected by their physical environment. If the weather is good, di ba, lalo ngayon, kung malamig yung pakiramdam natin. So, by feelings, by circumstances, by condition, by our environment. So, I am saying normal yan. Proactive. Again, to be proactive, you deviate from the normal condition. So, ang normal, ito can I share another qualities of being proactive? Sa baba ng reactive. So every day, nag-reactive tayo. You always worry on things you cannot control or attitude you cannot control. Every day, we always na-stress tayo doon sa mga bagay o ugali na hindi natin makokontrol or what we call beyond our control. Example, ugali ng nanay, ugali ng children, ugali ng ibang tao. Diba, palagi tayo na-stress or nag-worry. Or, example, yung condition ngayon, yung COVID-19. Kung hindi ka proactive at reactive tayo, madedepress ka. Kaya yung depression is coming from inside. Hindi yan galing kay COVID-19. Yung COVID-19 nandyan na. So bakit ka madedepress? Kaya yung mga nade-depress, yung bang akala nila ang may kasalanan si COVID-19. So this is my point. Even there is a situation outside, negative yan, you have to be proactive. You have to control the negative situation. Kaya kung may COVID-19, huwag kang ma-depress, huwag kang ma-stress. You have to be proactive. So you have to study, you have to think of solution, mag-ingat, observe protocols. That's how to be proactive. Kasi kung madali kang ma-depress. So I'm giving you this guideline for especially to our teachers, paki-guide yung mga estudyante na para hindi ma-depress. Nandiyan na yung COVID-19, hindi na mawawala yan when we reach the so-called herd, yung immunity na 70% nung population ay magkaroon ng vaccine. And that's, you see, mga scientists, they become proactive. So instead na mag-worry, they discover a vaccine. So that is a solution to be proactive. Okay, another quality ng reactive. Palagi tayong nagsasalita ng doubtful or negative language. Like for instance, I'll try. So what I am saying, mga normal to, no? Palagi tayong ganyan, I'll try, we hope, no? Then another common situation, we always check the weaknesses of another person or scrutinize, no? So masarap pag-usapan pag merong weakness yung tao eh. 'Di ba sa showbiz yun ang hit, no? Pag negative pinag-uusapan, no? Okay, yun yung reactive. At yung mga reactive, they are infected not only by COVID-19 virus, ang tawag ko doon victimitis virus. So ang vaccine diyan yung pagiging proactive, yun ang vaccine. So maraming tao na infected ng victimitis, always blame, yung bang yun ang kanilang mindset palagi, no? Angal lang ang laging nagko-complain na. Therefore, parang nagkakaroon ng self-pity. They are infected by this virus. Then yung mga reactive, they always think active na makikita mo yan sa Kongreso, no? Sa Senado, lahat ng nag-uusapan doon, problema. No? So, sana ang pinag-uusapan solution. No? So, well, in practice, what I am doing in our university, no? In my organization, no? I do not discuss problems in our meeting. I do not even mention the word problem. I am using the term situation or concern or a challenge. No? And we always concentrate on the solutions instead of the barriers. So instead of pag-usapan yung problema ng isang oras, mag-offer ka agad ng solution para tapos na yung usapan. Kaya, well, unfortunately, itong mga leaders natin na products of very good schools, matataas ang IQ, no? Very articulate, magaling mag-debate, no? Pero at the end of the hearing or the discussion, wala namang solution. Sayang yung sayang yung pera ng bayan, sayang yung oras. Kasi puro usapan lang, kasi masarap pag-usapan yung mga. So I am asking you, our leader, when you conduct meetings, as much as possible, do not concentrate on the problems. Use the word problem. Substitute it with a proactive language like situation, concern, opportunity. And then, yung mga reactive, they do not apologize. Opposite, tayo sa proactive. Yung proactive, ang focus ng proactive individual, yung things na he can control easily. And alam nyo, the only thing that we can control easily, tayo, sarili natin. We cannot control the attitude. We can control our attitude. Okay, so yun dapat ang bigyan natin how we can change our inside, how we can change our attitude para magkaroon ng serenity. I think you know the prayer serenity. Peace of mind, na you should be given yung courage to change the things you can and wisdom to know the difference. So it's a given. Hindi natin pwedeng baguhin ang ugali ng ibang tao. Pero kaya nating baguhin ang ugali nating sarili. Pag pinilit yung baguhin ang ugali ng ibang tao, expect may quarrel. Away lang yan. Kaya doon nagkakaroon ng conflict na if you want to change attitude of another person. So, hindi magkakaroon ng harmony, hindi magkakaroon ng peace of mind kasi mag-aaway lang kayo. Kaya para tumahimik, kung di mo mabago yung ugali ng ibang tao, eto na, isali mo na lang ang baguhin mo. Maging proactive ka, maging positive ka. Kasi nandyan na yung tao na hindi mo na kayang baguhin. Okay, so second, palaging yung proactive, na palaging positive. Yan. Mga language ng proactive, I'll do it, we can make it, kaya yan. Yung mga proactive, palaging may grit, na palaging hardworking yan. At palaging nagtatrabaho, at palaging, pag nagtatrabaho yan, palaging merong commitment. Na hindi lang para kumuha ng sweldo, but just to contribute dun sa organization. Yun yung hardworking. Na iniisip mo, hindi lang yung salary, kundi what you contribute. So that's how I describe a hardworking person. Nagtatrabaho tayo dahil gusto nating tumulong. Okay? Another, you are not easily offended. Hindi madaling mapikon. At yung proactive, as I said, nag-iisip palagi ng solutions and other options. At yung mga proactive, this is another magic word, palagi siyang nagsasabi ng sorry. Please take note that if you want to end any conflict sa bahay, na yung husband-wife relationship, you cannot even change the attitude of your husband, or vice versa. You cannot change the attitude of your wife or even the children. Opinion, no? At para tanggapin yung kanilang weaknesses and shortcomings. And that is the essence of love. Minamahal mo hindi lang yung strength. Ang measurement ng love is how you accept and understand the weaknesses of another person. That is the best measurement of love. No? How you can understand and accept weaknesses or negative attitude of another person. So yun, doon nasusukat yung tinatawag na pagmamahal. Okay, kaya pag may nagkamali, miski na hindi ko ang mali, just say sorry. And that would be the end of any conflict. And you can continue the so-called harmonious relationship if you become proactive. Okay? So, that is habit number 1. So, observe. Ang pinag-uusapan natin tungkol sa sarili, no? How we can improve our inside, how we can improve our mindset, how we can improve our language. So, that's habit number 1. Okay. Number 2. Write your personal, hindi lang 3 long-term goals or 3 years, kundi pwede ring 2 years, pwede ring 3 years. Na? This is all about what letter? Anong letter yan? Anyone? Any volunteer? Anong letter?
D, sir.
Letter P. So, tapos na tayo sa P, di ba? Yung P is proactive. Yung P, begin. Ito na yan. Ha? Begin today with the end in mind. So, letter B. It's all about sarili din yan. Sa atin din manggagaling yan. Begin today with the end in mind. So, begin today with the image, picture, or paradigm of the end of your life as your frame of reference. So, ibig sabihin, ito na yung pinaka-basic today with the end in mind. Na literal na saying, you don't need to wait na you'll be infected by COVID-19. Habang wala ka pang COVID-19 at may buhay, begin today doing good things. So, wag nyo nang remember, yung life is not really permanent. Life is really short. Habang may quality life tayo, you have to do something good now. That's the literal nation of begin today with the end in mind. Gumawa ka na ng mabuti ngayon kasi eventually tatanda lahat at mawawala wala. So, life not permanent. So, yung time na may sakit ka na para maging mabuti ka, para magdasal ka. Na? So, habang may buhay, habang may quality life, contribute. Do things good to your fellow men and avoid being reactive, be proactive. So, that's the literal explanation of habit number 2. Now, the other interpretation of begin with the end in mind is based on the principle that all things are created twice. No? Ibig sabihin, there is what you call mental creation or first creation, and there is what you call physical or second creation. Ito yung other view ng begin today. No? By the way, yung begin today with the end in mind, maybe the best example is yung teacher. No? Yung teacher nagtuturo at syempre nakakontribute yan dun sa development ng students, ng young generation. Pag nawala ang teacher, alam niyo kung naging successful yung students, ng estudyante yung teacher. Kasi of the teacher, yung guidance ng teacher, and nag-guide din yung estudyante, lalo na pag naging successful yan, yung teacher will be considered a hero. Kaya yung mga majority ng teachers, we can consider our teachers na mga bayani yan. Kasi they have contributed no, sa development of the world, no? The quality of life of not only the Philippines but the entire world. Okay, so that's also my perception. That's why I'm sharing this point, no? The 7 habits, because I want to contribute, no? While I am enjoying quality life. Okay, so yung another interpretation nga na all things are possible. If you want to achieve something, kailangan manggaling sa mental creation. Kailangan manggaling sa sarili. If you want to be successful, dadamahin mo from inside na successful na. Kaya itong laptop, itong computer, bago maging computer, nanggaling sa mind ng tao yan, yung computer. So you see, yung second creation is the actual product computer. Pero saan ba nanggaling yung sa tao? The mind of the person. So that's very simple. If you want to create something na positive, it should come from you, from your mind. Okay? So that's why all things are possible. Etong vaccine COVID-19, nanggaling yan sa tao, sa scientist. Kung hindi nag-isip yung scientist from coming minds, wala tayong COVID-19 vaccine. So, COVID-19 vaccines are created twice, coming from mental creation of the scientists, and that's why we have the physical or second creation called COVID-19 vaccine. Therefore, all things are possible. Last year, akala natin hindi na matatapos ng pandemic, no? Kasi wala pa yung vaccine. Ngayon, mukhang meron ng light at the end of the tunnel. So nakakita na tayo ng liwanag na because of the creation of human beings, this pandemic will end. Okay? So that's the concept of begin today with the end in mind. And just to explain further the mind power, it requires reprogramming our mind. So sisimplihan ko to explanation ng mind. So begin today with the end in mind simply is the use of the mind.
Wala si Sir. Sir, nawala kayo.
Yes.
Nakita?
Yan.
Okay.
This one.
Sige.
Program your mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you can experience and what you are experiencing now is ito yung things that are beyond our control. Kaya, so binibigyan ko lang kayo ng example, no? Na wag tayo mag-worry, may stress. Na? Kasi iba, sumasakit ng ulo. No? So talagang ganyan. Ito yung mga bagay na hindi natin makokontrol. So you have to be proactive. Ngayon, we are now in letter B, begin today with the end in mind. Kaya yung begin today, yung sinabi kong literal kanina, no, na lahat may wakas. Kaya habang meron tayong hininga, may buhay, you have to contribute. You have to do good things. Kesa dun sa dulo, wala ka nang hininga, dun ka pala magsisisi. So that's a lesson. And then yung other interpretation ng begin today, all things are possible, pero dapat manggaling sa mind. Sa sarili din yan, yung ating mind. And you can only do that when you reprogram your mind. So this is taken from the context of the psychologist, coming from the psychologist, na yung ating mind may dalawang parte, na merong conscious mind, CM, at merong subconscious mind. Ang tawag doon, when you combine the two, PMA. And PMA is what you call positive mental attitude. So positive mental attitude, hindi to positive thinking. When you use the word positive thinking, you only limit the use of the mind hanggang conscious mind lang. Kaya nga yung conscious mind is also called thinking part of the mind. Okay? So do not just have positive thinking. Kasi kung positive thinking lang ang gagamitin nyo, yung ginamit nyong part of the mind is just the conscious mind. At do you know yung conscious mind can only contribute 2 to 3% of your goal? Kaya maraming pumapalpak pa rin, miski na positive thinkers kayo. Kasi you are not maximizing your mind. Ang very important part of the mind, yung subconscious mind. That's a very important, ang tawag doon, very potent yan, very strong part of the mind. Ang other term for subconscious mind, sixth sense. Another, ito yung pakiramdam. Kaya nga feeling part of the mind. Imagination, dream, visualization. So, when we imagine something, nanggagaling sa subconscious. And in our language, kung may yung pakiramdam, nanggagaling sa subconscious. So, very simple comparison. Ang nangyayari yung nararamdaman. Pero yung iniisip, hindi lahat ng iniisip nangyayari. So, once nararamdaman natin, nangyayari. Okay? So, that would mean, if you want to achieve something, huwag nyo lang iisipin. Don't only think, but use your part, yung very important part of the mind, yung subconscious. Tadamahin nyo as if nangyayari na. Pag naramdaman nyo na yung iniisip nyo, yung dream nyo, nangyayari, it will happen to you. Doon ka mamomotivate. Doon ka magkakaroon ng positive attitude to reach that goal. Kasi nararamdaman mo na i-imagine mo na, halimbawa, in the next 5 years, lawyer ka na, gumagawa na ako ng mga pleadings, o kaya doktor ka na, nandun ka na sa ospital na helping ng mga pasyente. Nararamdaman mo na as if it is happening now. Okay, so even in decision making, I have tested this in all my decisions. Even sa mga organization, pag meron kang roadmap, halimbawa accreditation, magiging autonomous yung Chiang Kai-shek, wag nyo lang iisipin. You have to actualize na autonomous lang kayo today. So, dadamahin nyo na so that yung mga action nyo ngayon, pang-autonomous. So, same thing with the success ng tao. If you want to be successful, you have to imagine today is the start of your success. Na parang nanonood ka ng pelikula mo. Pati yung kulay ng damit mo, ano yung kinakain mo in the future, you have to sense it. And lahat mangyayari kasi psychologically speaking, lahat tayo may subconscious mind. Hindi lang natin alam gamitin yung ating subconscious mind. All of us are given this blessing, this gift. Ang ginagamit lang natin palagi, yung conscious mind, yung five senses. So ngayon, you are using your conscious mind kasi you are listening, you can see me, na? Pero ang nawawala minsan, not minsan, at all times, yung ESP, yung subconscious. Bihira natin gamitin yung imagination natin. Bihira natin gamitin yung visualization. And in short, bihira tayo mag-pray. So, alam nyo, yung prayer, when we pray, you have to imagine the good things given to you by the Lord. We do not pray for the negative outcome. Di ba? Ang prayer natin palagi, pinagdadasal natin na maging maganda ang buhay, na gumaling na yung tao. Di ba? Yun ang prayer. Kaya depende sa pakiramdam nyo sa prayer, kung mangyayari yung prayer nyo. Kasi kung nagda-doubt ka, coming from subconscious mind, yung prayer, nagda-doubt ka sa prayer mo, hindi mangyayari. Pero kung buo ang loob mo at buo yung pakiramdam, it will happen, it will happen. Kaya that's another term for the use of subconscious mind, prayer. Kaya kita nyo sa atin when we pray, di ba? Better if we go to a place na very quiet. Normally sa church. That's another term for meditation. At di ba, minsan nararamdaman natin, minsan umiiyak tayo. Pag umiyak ka, that means nararamdaman mo. So, di ba, minsan pag nagre-retreat tayo, damang-dama natin yung words of God na umiiyak tayo at doon tayo nagsisisi. Di ba? Pero nangyari, paglabas mo ng retreat house, you are influenced by another environment. So nawawala na yung prayer, yung subconscious, yung conscious ang nangingibabaw. So you see, kaya na-experience ko yan na bumabait ka during retreat. Kasi nararamdaman mo yung word niya Diba? Diba naramdaman yan? At example, mas maraming mababait pag Holy Week. Kasi, kasi nararamdaman ng tao yung presence ni God pag Holy Week. Diba? Kita nyo, kung konti yung crime pag Holy Week. So that is an example of the use of subconscious mind, yung pakiramdam. So, ladies and gentlemen, maximize the use of your mind power. Do not only, wag nyo lang iisipin yung gusto nyo. You have to visualize, actualize that it is happening now. Don't doubt. Do not doubt. Actually, I'm not using the word hope. Kasi pag hope, may doubt So, just be definite. We can do it. It will happen. Believe. A better term is believe. May pananampalataya, may faith. Huwag mag-hope, but you have to believe. You should have that faith. Very strong dapat yung pananampalataya, yung paniniwala. And kung very strong yan, it will happen. Pero pag nagduda kayo, it will not happen. Okay? So that's also a very good tool in decision making. Kaya pag anything na you want to project in business, siguradong mangyayari yun. Grab that and imagine it will happen using your subconscious mind. Maraming mga literature dito. In fact, I've been reading The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I've already read mga more than 20 books using the subconscious mind. So ganito rin yung another example, if you want to be young throughout the years, imagine mo na bata ka. Dr. Neri, yun ang ginagawa ko. You have to face the mirror. Ay, naku, I'm young. No? So, yun. Tapos, siyempre, pag ini-imagine mo na bata ka, yung kilos mo, bata rin. So, it will also affect your face value. So, magiging bata rin. Kasi, ang pakiramdam mo, bata ka Kaya pati pagkilos mo, bata rin. So that's another formula, no? If you want to be young forever. Okay? So that is the power of the mind. Okay. Now, later on, pagkatapos ko ng habit number 3, baka I can entertain any query before I proceed to 4, 5, 6, 7. Para ma-break lang. Ha? So here, this is the last habit for personal development. Ang question natin dito, select 2 or 3 of your highest priorities to focus on this week. Kasi yung ating habit number 3 is letter what? Anong letter yung next habit? F.
F.
Letter F.
First things first. Actually, yung habit 3 is related to what you call time management. Diba? It's all about sarili din yan, you know? Attitude management. So time management simply is just attitude management. And when you say attitude management, Dr. Covey has categorized yung activities natin into important and urgent. Yung important activities, ito yung mga activities that can contribute to your mission or to your dream. Example, itong pag-attend ng seminar, important activity ito kasi it can contribute to your personal development. Yung studies nyo, yung mga nag-aaral, important yan. Yung urgent, ito yung mga activities that require immediate attention. Example, telephone call, urgent. Attending birthday parties, mga urgent yan. So, between important and urgent, ano yung first at ano yung second? Ano sa palagay niyo? Ano yung, kaya nga first things first. Uunahin muna natin yung first. So, ano yung uunahin? Ano yung second? Yung bang first ay yung important o yung urgent? Any volunteer? Actually, alam niyo yung isang limitation ng online learning,
Oo.
ang isang limitation yung interaction, ano?
Oo.
So, hindi,
Sa
yung
urgent.
Urgent
less
po.
ang interaction.
Urgent po.
Si ako urgent.
Ang urgent ang first.
Oo. Ako urgent.
Okay, very good try. Pero just to give the exact answer, remember,
Important.
itong habit number 3, tungkol sa self-mastery, no? Sarili.
Ah,
So therefore, ang important activities ang first. Uunahin mo muna yung mga activity na makakatulong sa sarili mo versus attending a party. Kaya kung may conflict between important and urgent, ang binibigyan ng priority, yung important. Kasi yun ang makakatulong sa personal development mo.
depende.
Right? Yung urgent, kung ikaw ay manager or ikaw ang leader, ito na yung sinasabi natin, dinedelegate natin yung urgent to another person. Kaya if you're a manager, yung delegation is a very important function of a manager. You should know how to delegate urgent activities na hindi makakatulong sa sarili. Kaya kung may conflict between important and urgent, yung urgent na mga trabaho, yun ang dinedelegate. Yung important, yun ang bibigyan mo ng pansin. Kasi that can lead to your development. Okay? Kaya kung meron kayong studies, may mga seminars, yan yung mga important activities. Kasi related sa sarili yan sa development mo. Okay, so these are the first 3 habits. That's why yung pong time management is attitude management. No? Kaya yung pong mga nalilate, not because of the traffic, not because of the location. Kaya nalilate because yung attitude negative. Alam nyo, miska na malayo ang location na pupuntahan nyo, if you have a positive attitude, and if you know your priority, you will synchronize your time. Mag-a-adjust ka . Kasi bago ka makarating, halimbawa sa United States, no? Alam mo namang bago ka makarating doon, mga isang araw, edi umalis ka na maaga sa Philippines para hindi ka malate sa commitment mo sa US. So wala sa location yan. Kung alam mong traffic, edi umalis ka na maaga kasi alam mong ang dadaanan mo traffic. So ikaw ang mag-a-adjust. yung attitude mo. Kaya I don't believe yung reason na kasi po traffic. So for teachers and students, please do not use that as a reason. There is something wrong with your attitude if you are late. Okay? Lalo na dito sa Zoom, no? Sa Zoom, wala nang traffic. Although, beyond our control, yung internet access. Yan. Pwede naman yan. Ano? Kasi kung talagang may interruption sa internet, talagang yan yung sinasabi kong beyond our control. But if you can control the traffic by adjusting your time, that is what you call attitude management, and that is time management. So we do not accept any reason that because of traffic you are late. There's something wrong with the attitude. Nag-adjust. Okay, with that, with these habits 1, 2, 3, before I go to the next habits, baka meron po kayong ika-clarify sa habits 1, 2, and 3. Para at the same time, pwede pa akong mag-post ng konti na at I can
Alright
get
po.
back. Yung habits
So-
4, 5, 6, di ba? Susunod. All about relationship na yan. Ibang tao na yan. Ngayon,
Yes po.
pag-usapan natin yung sarili muna. Habits 1, 2, 3. Any
Alright,
questions?
so if you have queries po, kindly just send it via chat and we'll be happy to entertain it.
Habits 1, 2, 3. Self-mastery, sarili.
Okay po. We have one question from Miss Lori C. What do you do when in doubt po?
What do you do?
When in doubt.
Change your mindset. Alisin mo yung word na doubt. And use yung sinasabi kong actualize. Baguhin mo. Magkaroon ka ng shifting ng situation na ang dadamahin mo yung magandang outcome. So that would require a habit. So, ibig sabihin, sa first time, mahihirapan ka, pero dapat you have to start now. Habit nga eh. Pag sinabing habit, it is a repetition of your action, of your mindset. Sa una, challenging. Pero pag naging habit mo, di ba pag sinabing habit, automatic, parang naging part na ng system mo. Kaya nga, habit is a repetition of any act. Paulit-ulit. Kaya magiging automatic. Kaya try your best not to use doubtful statements like doubt, hope. Yun ang first requirement. Huwag gagamit ng mga ganong language. Kailangan positive yung language. Tapos, you have to actualize na yung gusto mong mangyari sa buhay mo or sa goal mo, nangyayari na today. Kaya begin today. And that requires a habit. You have to start now para bukas maging habit mo. The following week, maging habit mo. Okay? So,
Alright, thank you.
Your language. Okay.
Thank you po. Another question po from Dr. Brianna. My intention to manage being reactive is, in my experience, easier said than done. Are there specific tips daw po for this one?
First, do not use that rationalization of easier said than done. So, doon pa lang sa statement na easier said, surrender ka na eh. So, do not use that as an excuse. Para bang palagi ano ba yung Pinoy? Translated in Pinoy na easier said. At sapagkat tayo'y tao lamang. So when you rationalize any negative act, tapos sasabihin mo, ako'y tao lamang, you justify, you have to do the negative thing. Tama? So, parang nagiging excuse yun na ang gagawin mo, negative, kasi tao ka lamang eh. Para bang easier said. So, pag gagamitin mo palagi yan, that is an excuse for you not to do it. So, dapat may grit. Dapat may grit ka, may determination to do it even it is impossible. Kaya do not use the term easier said than done. Kasi hindi mangyayari talaga kasi negative na yung sinabi mo. Okay? So avoid using doubtful statements and negative language. Tayo mga Pilipino,
All right.
wag nating sabihin sapagkat tayo ay tao lamang. Kung hindi, gagawin talaga natin yung kamalian. Kasi gina-justify natin yung tayo'y tao lamang. So wag niyong gagamitin yung mga ganong language. Okay? So erase that doubtful statements.
Thank you very
Okay.
much po, Dr. Iñigo. Last one
Actually,
na po, may
Jan
nag-send lang po
Aldrin,
ng...
kaya ako,
Yes po.
yeah. Actually, kaya ako nasasabi yun, dahil experience ko din yan. So, nagkamali rin tayo kasi noon, yung hindi ko pa alam ito mga ganito, ay sinasabi ko sa sarili ko, ako'y tao lamang. So, gagawa ka talaga ng mali. That's why it is a justification to do something wrong. Kasi palagi mo sinasabi, easier said than done. Hindi mangyayari at ako'y tao lamang. So, please,
Alright po,
miski
Dr.
na
Inigo. Thank
tao
you.
ka, okay? Okay,
Okay po.
any other?
So there's a direct message lang po asking if they can get a copy of the PowerPoint kasi nag-out-in po sila because of the internet din. Like after, can they also get a copy of it po?
I'm going to modify, yes.
Okay, thank
After
you. Other than that, sir, wala pa pong other questions. Maybe we can have another open forum after
Okay.
we finish the 7 habits
So
po.
thank you, Jan Aldrin. Number 4, important relationship or issue would you like to improve or resolve by using a win-win approach? So this is related to habit number 4. Anong letter yung habit number 4?
W. F U D.
Letter
W.
W. So
W.
this is a question that you can answer.
W, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now discussing habits which can contribute to your relationship. So, tapos na tayo dun sa self-mastery, yung habits 1, 2, 3. So, we now assume na nag-proactive na tayo, na alam na nating using our mind power, yung begin today with the end in mind, and we know how to use our priorities, our time management. So now we go to building relationship, starting from habit number 4, win-win. So when you say win-win, attitude towards life, a mental frame of mind that says I can win, so can you. Actually, ito yung we are removing that mindset of developing superiority complex na ikaw lang ang bida, na ikaw lang ang tama. So dapat ang mga taong merong win-win attitude, lahat nakikinabang. No, lahat ay lahat ay panalo in a win-win. In fact, I can say that even in negotiation, well, truly, when Dr. Neri was the president of the Union of CEU, ito na yung ginagamit kong strategy, Dr. Neri, na win-win, hindi pwedeng management lang ang panalo. Dapat pati ang empleyado panalo para we can negotiate and we can have a better and positive negotiation. So, ginagamit ito sa mga negotiation kasi kailangan yung kausap mo, hindi mo kaaway eh. So remember, yung sa relationship kasi, pag yung other party ay enemy ka or enemy mo, there's no such thing as relationship. So dapat pareho makinabang para you can continue yung relationship. Okay? So that is win-win. So in business, ganyan din sa business. When you sell something, hindi pwedeng yung management, yung company lang mananalo. No? You have to give satisfaction to your customers. That's also win-win. Okay, so just remember that situation. Now, whenever you have relationship, wag nilang isipin na kayo. Do not have that complex, superiority complex, na kayo lang palagi ang nananalo, ang magpe-prevail. Dapat pareho kayong satisfied. That's win-win. And if you have that kind of mentality, expect harmonious relationship. So, kailangan magbigay ka din eh. At the same time, magbibigay yung kabila. No? That's very simple. No? Bigayan in Tagalog. No? Magbigayan para magkaroon ng kaligayahan at magkaroon ng kagandahan. So that's a term called win-win. Okay. Next. Number 5, describe a relationship that needs improvement. This is habit number 5. And what letter is that? After W?
Letter U.
Understand.
Letter U.
Yes, I
So
tell you.
U, again, is all about relationship. And that is understand, then to be understood. Okay. So, this is again relationship. No? Makikita nyo yung kaninang habit number 4 about relationship. Ito namang habit number 5, still relationship. And this would describe the important element of love, which is understanding. That is very important element of love. When there is no understanding, there is no love. But ano yung understanding? Yung understanding, kailangan we have to understand the nature of human being. And normally, ang primary factor ng human being, ng nature ng human being, is what you call individual differences. There is no such thing as, miska na yung mga twins, they have different personalities. Miska na magkakamukha yan. So, you have to understand, lahat ng tao, kung meron tayo ditong 200 participants, there are 200 personalities present. Iba-iba yung kanilang emotion. So, yun ang dapat nating you have to accept na and understand na because of individual differences, iba-iba yung emotion na yan. Yung mga emotion, negative emotion, meron diyang taong na ang palaging mindset niya, palaging criticism. May mga tao na mahilig mag-blame. Wala tayong magagawa. We have to accept that person. May mga tao na hindi alam ang magmahal. May mga tao na talagang very negative, extremely. So, yun ang challenge sa pagmamahal. You do not love a person's strengths only, but you love the weaknesses of a person. Kaya sa mag-asawa, 'di ba, pag nag-asawa kayo, yung mga hindi pa nag-asawa o yung mga nag-asawa, 'di ba, we committed when we had that wedding, yung marriage natin. Sinasabi natin in sickness or in health, ano pa yung commitment natin? For richer or for poorer, ano pa? Till death us part. So, kaya sinabing for poorer or what? Or miski na negative yung mangyari sa mag-asawa, tutuloy pa rin yung love. So, yun yung important element of love. Ngayon, kung hindi nyo maintindihan yung ugali ng isang tao at hindi nyo ma-accept, hindi love yan. Like lang yan. Kasi gusto nyo lang unawain yung kagandahang asal niya eh. Hindi mo na inunawa yung kasamaan niya. So, I'm just giving you this guide. Na? Talagang normal na you can meet a person with different personalities. And better, alam nyo, ang measurement ng EQ, I can relate this with emotional quotient. No? Kasi as a manager or as a leader, you should have very high EQ. And you can only have very high EQ if you know how to love a person with negative attitude. We are not saying that you have to accept that negative attitude. Kasi pag may relationship na at hindi kayo magkaaway, pwede mo nang sabihin yung kamalian niya. Pero once na may block, inaway mo siya, talagang hindi niya tatanggapin yung reasoning mo. Kaya very important na mahalin mo muna siya, tapos communicate at sabihin mo sa kanya kung ano yung mali. Kung maganda na yung relationship niyo. Okay? So, ganun din sa customer, di ba? Sa business. Pag sinabi mo sa customer mo, mali kayo, mali yung sinabi nyo na mahal ang produkto namin, inaway mo yung customer mo, hindi na makikinig yan. At hindi na bibili yan. kailangan muna mag-agree ka doon sa sinabi ng customer. Tama ho kayo. Bis ka na mali, tama ho kayo, mahal yung product namin. So, makikinig pa yan kasi nag-agree ka muna. You see the point? So, if you love a person, you have to agree muna and accept the negative attitude of a person. And that's a time that you can say something about the emotion, and that's the very important element of love. Okay? So, understand then to be understood. Alam nyo, ang model ko dito, ang best model ko dito si Christ. If you follow Christ, alam nyo, di ba, Christ demonstrated the element called love. Ano ang inunawa niya? Ano yung tinanggap niyang mali? Mankind. Tayo pa kaya, ang uunawain natin isang tao. Christ, diba, accepted the personalities of mankind. Miski na nagkamali tayo, siya pang nagpapako. That is a good model. Na? So, yun ang iniisip ko palagi. Na? Christ-centered, na unawain natin yung tao dahil meron siyang kahinaan. So, yun ang mindset ni Jesus Christ. Na? Inunawa niya ang mankind, tapos siya pa rin ang nagpapako. Sabihin, siya pa nag-sorry. Can we do that? Can we follow Christ? If you can do it, emotional quotient, EQ. Ngayon, I'm not saying na just accept the negative attitude. Siyempre, kasi maganda na ang relationship nyo, slowly, sasabihin mo naman yung kung ano dapat. No? Slowly. Kasi magkaibigan na kayo o meron ng presence of love. So, pwede mo nang sabihin yung emotion mo naman. Pero once na ginawa mo siyang kaaway, hindi na makikinig yan. Kasi may block na at may wall. Okay? So, please be guided on this habit 5. Understand then to be understood. Observe that what we are discussing now is really para bang not normal. So, kaya nga I heard that question kanina, easier said than done. Kaya if we use that term, easier said, talaga hindi natin gagawin to. Kasi we are rationalizing na mahirap gawin when we use the term easier said. But if you can do that, congratulate yourself because you have exceeded the level of normalcy. Hindi ko sabing abnormal, pero at least you can be called a true Christian following Christ. Okay? So, it is not, yung easier said than done, hindi pwedeng i-apply natin kay Christ. No? Kaya nga tayo, we're guided by Christ continuously para we can emulate the teachings and footsteps of Christ. No? Madali na kung kakayanin natin, kung gagawin, kung if we have that will, determination to follow Him, we can do it. At marami ng mga tao na gumawa na naging mabuti. So, all things are possible. Maraming tao na mabait. So, I don't believe na mahirap magpakabait. No? Marami namang bumait at maraming matitino. No? Kokonti lang yung mga hindi matitino. Okay. Next. Number 6 na tayo. No? Write down the name of a group you work with and describe how you will apply the principle of synergy. This is letter S. Before going to the last S, merong first letter S. It is called synergy or synergize. So synergy is achieved when 2 or more people work together, a better solution. It is not your way or my way, but a better or a higher way. It is more than just a compromise or cooperation. So when you say compromise, compromise ay 1 plus 1 equals 1 and a half. Yung cooperation is 1 plus 1 equals 2. Yung synergy is 1 plus 1 equals 3 or more. So meaning the word synergy can be described using the term teamwork. So if you want to have good relationship, You have to involve the members of the team in decision making, or you have to consult a person before you make a decision. So as managers, as individuals, as leaders, if you want to have effective decision making, you need synergy. You need to consult other human beings. So that's the point of synergy. So in my case, before I make a decision as the leader or manager of an organization, I need to consult the members of the team for me to make the best decision. Sabi ni Peter Drucker, yung decision making is the selection of the best decision from among different alternatives. When you say best, it is superlative degree. When you say among, hindi lang comparative degree yan, superlative. Pag sinabing superlative, at least 3 options. So when you make a decision, do not just be contented with 2 alternatives. Mas maganda kung maraming alternatives kasi that is the tenet of decision making, effective decision making. At saan manggagaling yung other alternatives? From your teammates, from the members of the organization. So that is in management, it is what you call empowerment. No? You have to empower the members of the team and acknowledge their ideas. So that is habit 6, synergize. Okay, so at this point in time, we have already completed 6 habits. Habits 1, 2, 3 are related to self-mastery. Habits 4, 5, 6, all about relationship, building relationship. So at this point in time, do you have any, before I go to the last habit, number 7, John Aldrin, nag-e-echo?
Doc, may echo po.
Okay na ba? Wala nang echo?
Yes po, yes po.
Okay, we can now proceed in habit number 7. This is the last habit. Yung last habit natin ay letter S din. No? So, ang question ko dito sa last habit is, identify activities for your renewal plan affecting the 4 dimensions of your life. So, according to Dr. Stephen Covey, every day, you need to make it a habit to do or practice the 4 dimensions of life. Ang tawag ko dito, 4 quotient systems. Ito na yung tinatawag na sharpening the saw or self-renewal. Habit number 7. So, to function effectively, people need to sharpen the saw. Kanina, if you can recall the tree, ito na yung pinaka-sunlight. Na? Ito na yung tubig. Na? Para naman madiligan yung tree para mag-produce ng harvest. Na? And the key to sharpening the saw is to regularly and consistently work on all 4 dimensions of renewal. Every day ito, no? As individuals balance and sharpen all 4 dimensions, they improve their effectiveness in all of the habits, in all of the 6 habits siya, from habits 1 to 6. In so doing, we grow, we change, and improve. In fact, every time na we make a New Year's resolution, di ba, after the old year, gumagawa tayong New Year's resolution. I am advising you to consider this 4 every year na you make your New Year's resolution. Ganito kasimple, no? So, review your renew or review this 4 every time that you enter a new year. Ito na yung New Year's resolution. Diba? Pag naging New Year's resolution nyo to at magiging habit, hindi lang ito pang 1 week, hindi lang ito pang 1 month. Kaya nga, habit eh. So, when this 4 would be considered your habit, magkakaroon ng repetition, paulit-ulit. Everyday gagawin nyo kasi naging habit yun eh. Sa una, challenging pa sa una. No? So, I'm not using the term mahirap. Ha? So, challenging sa una. No? Pero pag naging habit yun na yan, paulit-ulit yan, hahanapin nyo yan, hindi na yan pinag-aaralan. No? ginagawa yan automatically. So I'm suggesting na when you make, hindi pa naman huli ang lahat. Na? Today, it's still January. Na? So meron pa tayong 11 months to continue your New Year's resolution. Ito yung New Year's resolution natin. First, every day, in this order, no? Ito yung ginagawa ko. No? I'm doing what I am preaching. No? So ang unang ginagawa ko pagkagising ko, no? After a quality sleep, spiritual quotient muna, SQ. So I have to pray, I have to thank God, I have to show that gratitude. So sasabihin ko palagi, naku, thank you Lord for a new life, for a new day. Kasi nakagising ka eh. So that is spiritual. When you thank the Lord and you show that gratitude to Him, spiritual na yan. Kasi you thank Him eh. Naalala mo siya. So meron ng spiritual component yan. No? And then, to be followed by a prayer. At yung prayer, pwede namang personal prayer. So when you say thank you, that's a prayer. Tapos, continue praying kung anong gusto mo. No? And then, guided by yung mga standard prayer ng, when you say standard prayer, for a Catholic, may standard prayer tayo. No? Yung Hail Mary, Our Father, Glory Be. Nakakatulong yan. Kasi we are given that inspiration to pray. No? When we recite yung mga novena, rosary, di ba nakakatulong? Nagbibigay ng lakas ng loob. Pero we can have our own prayer. At alam niyo, ang best measurement ng spiritual is when you love your neighbor. Kasi miski na magdasal ka, and then during that day, marami kang kaaway, it is not spiritual. Kaya nga sa 10 Commandments, ang number 1 commandment is love God. Na? Pero when you love God, nag-pray ka, you have to love your neighbor. Second commandment. Kasi, again, useless. Hindi spiritual na you pray, tapos after that, you hate your neighbor. That is not spiritual. Pakitang tao lang yan. Now, kunwari, you love God, pero pagdating sa tunay na buhay, you hate your neighbor instead of loving your neighbor. Kasi you are violating the second commandment. So when you love God, you have to love your neighbor. And when you love your neighbor, you have to love God. That is spiritual quotient. Okay, so it is not enough to pray the novena, to pray the rosary. Ang importante, i-practice mo yung what you are praying by loving your neighbor. Okay? So, yan, maging New Year's resolution yun. Na spiritual quotient, magdasal ka, pero dapat you walk your talk, na you practice what you are praying by loving your neighbor. So, as much as possible, you have to improve your EQ, unawain, na i-maximize mo yung tolerance mo, na talagang ganyan yung tao, may mga negative attitude, and that is wisdom. Accept the things that you cannot change so that you have the courage and you have that wisdom. Okay? Spiritual quotient. Next. And then, at the end of the day, bago ka matulog, pwede mag-pray din, mag-rosary, but you have to thank God for a quality day. So, palaging show sense of gratitude to Him. And that is spiritual quotient. Kasi bago ka matulog, magpasalamat, kasi hindi ka sigurado kung the following day, magigising ka. So, you have to show that respect and gratitude to God before you sleep. And that is spiritual. Okay, next, every day, physical dimension or physical quotient. This is another New Year's resolution. You have to manage your body. When you say manage your body, internal and external. So internal, how do you manage your body internally? By eating healthy food. Huwag sobrang lechon. So when you say eat healthy, balance ng diet, kumain naman ng gulay, fiber. So that is managing your internal organs. That's physical quotient. Ngayon, externally, you have to exercise. Stretch. Kung wala kang treadmill, maglakad-lakad. Then, of course, you have to relax naman once in a while. Wag naman puro work in 7 days. Then you have to sleep well. I think this is in this pandemic, mukhang this is our opportunity to sleep 6, 7, or 8 hours. No? So, samantalahin natin habang may pandemic, no? Na makatulog. No? So, this is all about physical quotient. No? Okay, so you do not only manage your body externally, hindi lang yung muka, no? Hindi lang kayo maghihilamos o maglalagay ng makeup, no? Kundi internally, you have to manage your organs. Alam niyo, ang one way to manage your internal organ, you have to take, ginagawa ko, 12 glasses of water every day. So, Japanese therapy, pagkagising, meron akong I have to take 2 glasses of water, warm water. Ang explanation ng mga scientists at doctor, para daw yung mga toxic na naiwan, mawash. So, you have to drink 2 glasses of water after you wake up. So, meron akong nakatabing tubig, no? Okay, so yun. And then, I am setting my quota every session, every morning and after. Dapat sa umaga, maka 5 baso ko. Conscious ako doon. Sa hapon, 5. Tapos, in between, 12 glasses in a day. And truly, when kaano ko lang ng blood chem ko the other day, magaganda naman yung blood chem ko. So, nakatulong yung 12 glasses of water per day. That is how you manage toxic inside. Na? And at the same time, syempre, wag naman puro lechon every day. Na? Balance lang. No? Ngayon, ang nakatulong sa akin sa immune system ko, alam nyo, I can still run a marathon. Bakit? Because I can attribute that to my habit na I do not smoke. Yung mga batchmates ko na nag-smoke, at the age 40, 50, patay na. Kasi validated by doctors yan. No? Karamihan ng mga nag-smoke ay hindi tumatagal. Validated yan. Kaya I learned a lesson from my father. Kasi my father died at the age 62 because of emphysema. Kasi smoking eh. Kaya sabi ko, hindi dapat ganun ako. So from there, mula nung pagkabata, hindi na ako nanigarilyo. Kasi yung father ko namatay batang-bata. Umiinom, tapos merong sigarilyo. Yan. Kaya yung mga young generation natin, not yet late. If you want to see the moon in the next 50 years, our students, stop smoking now. So, Dr. Neri, isa rin yung secret, no? Kasi yung smoke, alam nyo, yung nicotine, nakaka-wrinkle yan eh. So nakakatanda, no? Yung smoking. So that's another formula. You want to live younger, no? Forever. Okay? So that's physical quotient. That's what you call quality lifestyle. Eh, syempre, may maintenance ka din. You have to take vitamins naman every day. No? That's part of physical quotient. Nakakatulong naman yung mga vitamins. Part of maintenance. Okay. Next, IQ. Every day, you have to improve your IQ. Sabi nga natin, education is a continuing process. Even you have completed your doctorate degree, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung learning. No? Kaya ako, even I have already reached this level, every day I see to it that I read the newspaper, I read one chapter of a book, I want to learn new skill. In fact, itong pandemic, I have learned so many skills in this pandemic. Natuto akong magkaroon ng skills sa photography. No? So, natuto rin akong mag-gardening. Natuto rin naman akong maghugas ng pinggan. So, during the pandemic. No? So, meron akong additional skill. No? Pwede naman akong palang maghugas ng pinggan. No? Additional skill yan. No? So, you see, that's what you call IQ. No? So, do not just be contented with your knowledge. No? Always improve your example. Eto, I cannot share this kung hindi ko ito pinag-aralan. The 7 habits. That's part of improving my IQ. At nakakatulong yan sa pagtandaan nyo, magiging maganda pa ang memory nyo. No? Sharpen pa rin yung memory kasi you always read every day. Kaya ang mga teacher, magagaling, tumatanda yan kasi at bumabata kasi palaging nagtuturo, nagbabasa. Dr. Sabile, no? Kaya si Dr. Sabile, bata pa rin kasi teacher. Pero pag hindi ka nagturo, nako, ang bilis, mabilis tumanda at manghina. Okay, that's IQ. Then, lastly, EQ. Every day, you build relationship, give service, smile. As much as possible, be proactive. No? And again, I don't want to use the word easier said than done. No? Kung talagang, alam nyo, talaga it requires grit and it requires a skill to accept attitude or negative attitude of a person. Kasi hindi siya normal eh. Ang normal, hindi mo siya ma-accept. Kasi ang normal stimulus response, pag nakakita ka ng taong naging negative, ang normal mo, I'm saying normal ang normal tendency mo, response, magagalit ka. Okay? So yun ang normal. Kaya ang sinasabi ko dito, talent ito eh. Skill. Pag natutunan mong tanggapin yung taong may kamalian, that is EQ. Kaya pinag-aaralan yung emotional quotient. Kaya pagkikita niya maraming mga books written by different authors on emotional quotient. Kasi po, yung understanding behavior requires a skill. And that's why, yung easier said than done, madali namang ma-break yun if you learn that skill. If you check yung mga catalog, no? Ang dami pong libro related to EQ. Well, alam nyo, parang madali, no? Kaya nga easier said than done. Kala nyo madali. Pero I'm suggesting you have to start learning that skill. Accepting, understanding, especially accepting the negative behavior of a person. Then, ipag-pray nyo na lang siya, bless siya para baka magbago. Yun lang magagawa natin. Pero that requires a special skill. And this is possible. Okay, I have done it. That's why I can say it. Yung una, yun na sinasabi ko nung una, mga 20 years ago. So, kanina, kaya yun ang palagi kong nira-rationalize. Easier said than done. Pero pwede pala alisin yung ganong statement. Na madali pala kung meron kang grit o determination to do it. Kasi iniisip mo yung positive karma. Kasi kaya mo ginagawa ito, at the end, you will be reaping the fruits of your behavior, of being proactive. Ikaw makikinabang na at you will be getting positive karma. At alam mo ba yung karma? Yung pong karma can also influence, pwede ring it can also influence yung next generation nyo. Kung hindi ka makakarma ngayon, yung next generation ang kukuha ng karma nyo, positive or negative karma. Okay? So if you want to start quality life, if you want to have a quality generation, do good things today and understand the behavior of any person. Be Christ-centered. If Christ can do that, if Christ can accept and understand the wrongdoings of mankind, we have to follow his footsteps. And I believe it is easy to do it if you make it a habit every day. Okay? So with that, I would like to quote my wisdom, which I have been doing. Ito na po yung aking mindset every day. Na I'm always embracing quality, which is synonymous with excellence. Because quality is just an attitude of mind. No? Yung kanina sabi kong mind power, if you want to deliver quality, nasa loob lang mo yun. It's just an attitude of mind. And I stick to it na there will always be improvement every day. In Japanese, you call it kaizen, continuous improvement. And it is based on the belief that you can do things better today than yesterday. Kung nagkamali ka kahapon, dapat better today. Rectified yung kamalian mo kahapon. And better tomorrow than today. So, as a human being, we also commit mistakes. But when we commit mistakes, we have to accept and acknowledge the mistakes and learn from our mistakes so that we can enjoy quality life and embrace relationship. So, ladies and gentlemen, ito yung 7 habits. Hindi po ito mahirap and easy easy po ito if you do it a habit, if you can start today. Para tomorrow, gawin nyo ulit, the next day gawin nyo ulit, para automatically it will be part of your system as effective individuals. Okay. Maraming salamat, and I can entertain clarifications. And God bless to all. Thank you.
All right.